Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rantz Tommy Krysan with you. TK joining us over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood in Baton Rouge. I am on the road to Jacksonville, Florida. LSU 3-game series this weekend over in Jacksonville, Florida. Looking forward to seeing the Tiger faithful. LSU doesn't usually go east for these preseason tournaments. Usually it's Texas, or next year it's going to be Las Vegas. Looking forward to that. But first time I'll be at the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. The home of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp is where they're playing this series. And, of course, 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central will be the start of this ball game. Today, Ben McDonald, Lynn Rollins, they'll be on all the LSU games. Ben will be doing other games, but Lynn will only be doing the LSU games this weekend. And so going to be a lot of fun. See, the Tigers have gotten off to a 5-0 start. Tommy, you had a chance to see LSU play the other day at Alex Box against Nichols. Casey McKenzie of the Baton Rouge Rougarou was there to present. Casey Artigues, a former Rougarou player, starting left fielder for Nichols, his championship ring. Your takeaway on what you saw from LSU, and you must have brought them bad luck defensively, because I don't think they'd had an error through their first 4 games, and they made 2 on Wednesday.
Well, a position player didn't make an error, but then they made 2 of them the other day. Caraway hit a grand slam in the bottom of the first. Nichols went up 1-0 top of first, got him on, got him over, got him in. And then Caraway with a towering blast, a grand slam in the bottom of the first to give LSU the 5-1 lead. Then they never looked back. It was pretty much cruise control, as anybody would have expected. A lot of guys pitched, a lot of guys batted, a lot of guys played defense as Jay Johnson, continues to figure out who can he count on or whatever, or let somebody play themselves to the bench or whatever. So it was a one-sided game. Nichols has got off to a slow start this year, but they'll bounce back, and they're in a good conference. The Southland's always tough. So, but LSU was impressive as they should have been while playing Nichols. And Coach Herring, who coached at LSU 2 years ago with Jay Johnson, he went Johnny Holstaff. He just got a lot of arms out there, a couple of guys that hadn't pitched. LSU threw that one freshman, Theo Lopez, and he walked 3 people, and they pulled him out right away. So he had a bad first outing ever at the box. Crowd was about 5,000 or so. Stadium was about half full. Not bad it was Ash Wednesday. A lot of schools out because of the Mardi Gras break, but it was a pretty good crowd. So LSU, they flew out right after the game on down to Jacksonville. I'm sure they practiced somewhere yesterday, and they'll crank it up today with Case and Evans on the bump. They're going Evans, Moore, Schmidt, just like they did the opening weekend. And Evans, as we know, started off pretty good in his first outing against Milwaukee. And then it kind of got to him in the 3rd inning or so, and his ERA's up there, but that happens early in the year.
Amazing how things have changed for LSU when it comes to finances, right? We joke all the time on this show about where are they coming up with all the money. How about LSU flying to Jacksonville, Florida on Wednesday evening when they Wednesday evening when they have a game Friday. The Yankees don't even fly in on Wednesday for a series on Friday. They fly in the day before, the night before.
Well, Ronnie, this week they revealed LSU is one of the first schools to have the uniform patch on, the Woodside Energy. Going to be on all sports. It's going to go purple and gold so it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. And, so that's money that they got all kind of ways they're trying to raise money. You can pledge $1 per hit, home run, $10 a win, and get you a little replica mini scoreboard intimidator thing. They're doing everything they can to bring in $100 here, $1,000 there, whatever it might be. But that's typical of what everybody. If schools don't do that, and from all reports, LSU's out on the cutting edge with this patch and some other things they're doing, kind of like they got ahead of everybody on NIL. Then some people passed them up, but LSU's finding a way to get it done, Ronnie, finding money, etc., and it's amazing.
By the way, Tommy, the Baton Rouge Rougarou were on the cutting edge. We had 4 logos on our jerseys last year, including logos on both sides of our batting helmet. So that'll be coming next. I think you're going to see 1 patch. It'll end up being 2 patches. In the major leagues, they have batting helmet sponsors. So that's coming. That's coming.
Well, you got to do that now. If you don't do that, you're not going to have the success you might want to have.
By the way, speaking of that, people don't realize LSU, South Carolina, Pulmonary at South Carolina has more NIL money from the school. They have South Carolina baseball has a bigger piece of the pie from the rev share pie at South Carolina than Jay Johnson does at LSU. Now,
yeah,
Jay Johnson has street money and NIL money and all that, but certain schools, remember, you can spend up to, $20-something million, whatever the number is in Southeastern Conference. Every school, though, determines how they spend that money. And a lot of schools make decisions like, we're not going to automatically put it all into football because we know that's not our bread and butter, or we know we don't have the best chance to win in football. So a school like Kentucky will go hard Kentucky men's basketball. A school like South Carolina was going to go women's basketball, college baseball. They're not going to just automatically put the lion's share, 70-80% in the in the football like LSU and many other schools do. They're picking and choosing where they think they have the opportunity to have the most success. And quite frankly, I think it's smart.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the new buzzword thing now, and it's just happened to LSU with a football player, and a couple other schools recently that quote unquote got investigated. It's called third party contract. Okay, and that's a little bit different than the NIL and the collective that we all came to know about a few years ago. Like if Sports Shorts Daily wants to do something for a baseball player and say we're going to give you X amount, that doesn't count against that NIL thing that they're going to break up to 20.5 million, whatever it is. So there's a few little ways to cut a corner or two. And I don't think you can cut it. We can't. Sports Shorts Daily can't give William Schmidt $5 million a year. But if it was going to be something more reasonable, couple grand a month, whatever, we could do that and not affect that other number. And again, these schools, LSU and all the schools, I don't care if it's the Raging Cajuns, the McNeese Cowboys, Tulane, whatever, you got to find ways to do all of this. Or as we said, the success is not going to end up being what you want. It's like last year, Ronnie, the 2 teams that spent the least amount of money in SEC men's basketball were South Carolina and LSU. Well, guess who finished 15th and 16th in the conference? South Carolina and LSU. And there is a tie to the money. It's not the only reason, but that's going to be a huge part of it going forward in the landscape of what we used to know as college sports.
By the way, speaking of McNeese, they had a nice win on Tuesday up at Louisiana Tech. Justin Hill's squad went up there. I think a 9-3 was the final. Today, Kason Evans going to pitch 2:00 Eastern time, 1 Central for LSU. You can watch all the games this weekend on d1baseball.com. Kason Evans with the ball. His last weekend, even though LSU swept easily and set a strikeout record and all that for a 3-game series, the 2 of their 3 starters, Evans and Schmidt, did not have quality starts. And what I mean by that is, Kason Evans went 3 1/3, allowed 4 earned runs. William Schmidt went 4 innings, allowed 3 earned runs, and walked 3. And so, Coach Bertman was big on that. I feel like nowadays, and it really shifted with Pulmonary, there was a lot more emphasis on win. And, we hear Jay, hey, nice win. Everything's great. Win. Skip always took the approach of, almost like, we know we're going to win. We know we're going to beat a midway. We're going to win most of our midweek games. We know we're going to beat Milwaukee. But can we play to the standard of what it's going to take to win in May, in June? And from that perspective, then you got to be a little bit disappointed with some of the pitching last weekend, particularly from 2 of your 3 starters that did not dominate and just have a nice clean sheet against a team in Milwaukee that's not good. And so hopefully they will, get back on that horse and right the ship this weekend at a neutral site matchup against a better competition.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I mean, it's a long season, a long process, and LSU's played 5 games. They have 51 more, weather permitting. So, and look, we just got to defer to Jay Johnson, Nate Yeske, the staff. They know everything you just said, and I'm sure they preached it. And so that's why every day at the ballpark's a new day. We were told that when we were little kids. Forget about yesterday. Doesn't matter if you went 4 for 4 or 0 for 4. You got to forget and make a new day. Have a good day at the ballpark. And obviously, the competition against LSU this weekend is bigger than the first 5 games they've played. Although Kent State's a pretty good team, but it's going to be a little different. Indiana is 1-3, got swept by North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Indiana last year was down a little bit, but in the last decade, they've had some pretty good teams. My favorite former Indiana baseball player, Kyle Schwarber. I really like watching him play in the bigs. The left-hander flat out hit. He can put the bat on the ball. He played at Indiana before they were great, but he gives a lot of money to Indiana baseball.
Kyle Schwarber. I loved him when he came up with the Cubs. All right, Tommy. Some other.
Wait, I got one. Wait, I got one
notes.
for you here. Yeah, I got one for you. On this day in 1984, February 20th, Skip Bertman coached his first game at LSU, and they beat Southern Miss 7-1. We got to give Carl Dunn props for pointing that out. I got it up on the screen. His first game at LSU on February the 20th, 1984, a 7-1 win over Southern Miss. Where were you in February of '84, Ron?
42 years ago, by the way. I was 3 months shy of my 12th birthday. So I would have been in 6th grade at Lake Castle Elementary School on Hain and the corner of Hain Boulevard and Crowder in New Orleans East. Barry Butera would have been my math teacher and baseball coach. And so that's where I was. Yeah, I used to ride my bike from to school, to and from school. Lived in P-Rog Cove Apartments in New Orleans East, right off of Bullard, across the street from Little Woods Elementary, kind of near Ferncrest out there in New Orleans East, Tommy.
And was this the spring of '84 when you were the bat boy for Ron Maestri and the UNO Privateers?
That's right. So, parts of 82, 83, 84, even in 85, we would do, I would bat boy a few games a year. It was kind of through Barry Butera and Lake Castle because John Maestri, Ron Maestri's son, went to Lake Castle, played, was a year or two older than me, but because of that connection and our closeness to the program, that we would get to go do some games each year. And that was awesome.
So UNO had bat boys. They didn't go to the bat girls yet? We had bat girls in Southeast. When I was in Southeast, we had bat girls. Every year there were 4 girls.
Tommy, Tommy, it just goes to show the difference. You guys had bat girls and never won. They had bat boys and went to the College World Series. So maybe that's why, you guys were distracted being college pervs and they were focused on winning.
Yeah, probably a lot to that. Okay, I'll give you that. There's some weight behind that comment for sure, man. That's good. Well, no, hey, I'm looking forward to you being in Jacksonville because tomorrow when we're doing radio, you're going to chime in at about 10:15 with a live report from the game. Hunter McCann and I'll be over at BRQ Seafood and Barbecue in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway right near Airline. And you'll join us. Of course, Joel Davis will join us. But looking forward to your update. You'll have some last-minute info because that'll only be about 45 minutes before Game 2 against Notre Dame down in Jacksonville.
Yeah, look forward to it. Let me get back going, TK. Hey, I'm also excited about the possibility. I think it's a tease. I don't think it's really going to happen. But the possibility of Tiger Woods playing in the Masters, that would be that'd be pretty good.
I think it's going to happen. But I thought you were going with Todd Graves will be owning the Saints in 3 years. I think that's going to happen.
Well, no, I think Todd Graves will eventually be part of the ownership group that owns the Saints, but the matter of when, I don't know about that. All right,
3
TK, I'll
years.
let you go. We'll talk tomorrow morning.
All right, we'll talk to you on radio tomorrow morning. Hey, don't forget here at Tremonti's, we got live boiled crawfish coming out the pot, 3 o'clock today, 3 o'clock tomorrow. If you want some live, you need a sack or 2 or 3, call and order them. You can get those, pick them up here on Saturdays. Live crawfish are available. And Tremonti's has been known for years for their Tuesday crawfish special. Okay, they put it out there on every Tuesday during Lent, during crawfish season. You can get a big special. So connect on Facebook and Instagram, and they'll keep you posted on the pricing and how much what you got to do. The Tuesday crawfish special, but you don't have to wait till Tuesday. They'll have them Thursday and Friday and Saturday coming out the pot today and tomorrow at the pot 3 o'clock. Also, Court Street Cafe's got steak night tomorrow night. Their Sunday brunch is through the roof. Jason and staff at Court Street Cafe in Port Allen want you to check them out. We'll be back out there on Monday for another episode of Sports Shorts Daily. And another reminder, radio tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Hunter McCann and I, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and ESPN Southwest Louisiana, hitting the Lafayette and Lake Charles markets. We'll be live from BRQ Seafood and Barbecue in Baton Rouge. If you haven't been to BRQ, many of you have, you got to go. They open the doors at 10:30 on Saturday. We'll be in the back broadcasting starting at 10. Come say hello. Come get a great lunch at BRQ Seafood and Barbecue, Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge. Tremendous place. You need to check it out. Everything you need. I had lunch in there the other day, sat at the bar. It was great. Good deal. So Hunter McCann and I, Ronnie Rantz, Joel Davis, will have all that for you tomorrow on Sports Shorts Radio. I appreciate you tuning in today. Like and share this show, no matter where you're watching, your Facebook, YouTube, or X. Like and share the show, and look for Shorts at YouTube with Ronnie Rantz, Sports Shorts Daily, hosted by Ronnie Rantz, or Talking Sports with TK, Tommy Krysan. Shorts coming up later today. Some clips from the show today. You ain't got time to watch the whole show? The clips will tell you what it's all about. They're about a minute or so long, maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter. On behalf of Ronnie Rantz, I'm Tommy Krysan. Have a wonderful weekend.